Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to Stretford Paddock. I am Adam Mckola. He is Jay. He is Joe.
Hello.
We are back for the preview. Manchester United against Southampton when we re-begin our title charge. Re-begin? There's a word for that called restart.
Restart. No, re-begin's better. Reinitiate, re-begin,
Restart,
rejuvenate, re-kick off, rejuvenate.
We are about to kick that off and get our title charge back on the road. Aren't we, guys?
Do you feel as though you've painted yourself in a corner in terms of your expectations for Man United this season? The whole 21 is coming, let's call it I don't want to say agenda, but manifesto, let's go with.
Yeah.
Has almost made it that no matter what happens now, everything has to be framed around a potential title charge, even though that probably wasn't the target. I mean, that wasn't the target at the start of the season. Do you feel as though now you've got it so that if United don't win the league, it's a failure? Anything other than a league title is a failure this season.
What's that old saying, single moms love? If you shoot for the stars, what is it? If you aim for the moon, you'll hit the stars.
If you shoot for the stars, you might just land on the bloody moon, boy.
Yeah, that's the one. That's what's going to happen to us. And the moon is like that comfort bed of top four. Right. You're in the Champions League next season. The stars? Is 21 is coming.
So who are you, Buzz Aldrin? A sort of a...
Nah, you never went to the moon.
He did.
No, he did.
He's the second man on the moon.
Buzz Lightyear went to the moon.
Oh, sorry.
Buzz Aldrin never went to the moon.
He's right there.
That was fake.
Buzz Aldridge.
Yeah. That was
Buzz Aldridge.
You know, Buzz Aldridge.
John
That was in
Aldridge
the
is
studio
famous.
at Granada. That was old, yeah.
Do you believe they went to the moon before we move on?
Nah.
Okay,
right,
come on.
Americans never. Someone has.
So talk about 21 is coming then. We see it on the screen there. You don't have this expectation? Because when United drew to Arsenal,
I'm
we saw all
I'll
this...
be honest with you, I'm
go on.
down in the dumps this week.
Oh, yeah.
I feel it in my chest.
Do you?
Yeah.
Like, that, especially Sheffield United, that was a big 3 points drop.
Yeah.
And I keep looking at the table, because we've all been doing it. You can pretend you haven't been. We all sit at home at night with flash scores open, looking at the table, thinking about what the next result's going to do for us. And we had all banked that Sheffield United game as 3 points.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think just that feeling is disappointing. But there's still such a long way to go. And everyone that's rushing to give it to City already, I just find that a little bit mad, because they haven't got a striker. They will get injuries. You know, when the Champions League comes into the mix again, how will that affect things for them? So I think they will drop points. They've got some big fixtures coming up, but the margins for error for United now are very, very small, aren't they? But we can go on a run again.
But they're always small, though. That's the thing. If you want to win the league, the margin for error is very small. That's why it's so hard to do. So I don't think that's changed.
No.
I think we obviously have to have a better end to the season than City do. But De Bruyne is out for, 6 weeks? I know they've not faltered too much in that time, but they only got one against Sheffield United, which is still a win. But, you know, it wasn't another one of this sequence of conclusive 4-5-0s that we've been seeing. It was a bit more difficult for them, and against a better team, maybe they could have got a bit unlucky there. And we were talking before the Villa game. I think if that offside goal hadn't happened, I wouldn't have been surprised to see a draw, because they were struggling to create chances in that game. At 1-0, obviously that changes everything. So I don't think they're quite as imperious as they look at first glance if you look at the recent results. And like you were saying before, maybe you talk a bit more about it. A month ago, everyone was, oh no, City aren't doing well this season. And now, they've won the league already. It's like people are so quick to change their mind, aren't they?
And also, like, a couple of weeks ago, we would have been like, if we can be in this position now, I'll take that.
Yeah.
And now, because we had that couple of weeks where it looked like we had pulled away, like everyone, and I get it, it's okay to feel disappointed, but also, I'm a little bit one of them. I'm a bit of an optimist. Once the dust settles, I'll try and find that. And I remember thinking, if we can go to Anfield and beat them, we'll be just behind them.
Yeah.
And now we are, and I know that gap's got smaller, but we need to get back in form. If we can get back in form, and we're talking about a big game here, Southampton, Everton, some big fixtures coming up, but they're just the right fixtures, I think, for us, where they're not big games, but they're not teams that are where you take your eye off the board, you know what I mean?
We were saying exactly the same thing on a watch-along, is like with Sheffield United, even when it was like 10 minutes ago, you had that sort of sense that maybe, we'll be all right, or the players are maybe thinking that. But with these games, you're going into it thinking, you've got to turn up against Southampton. They're a good team, they've got some good results. Same with Everton. And it's like, you can't be complacent against these sides. So you've got to be up for it. But they're not the Cities, the Liverpools of this world. So they are beatable. So that's probably like you're saying, like what you were saying on Saturday. It's the right kind of fixture. It's the right game, because you've got to be up for it. you're playing a good team, but you're not playing an unbeatable team or a team that's better than you by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, they are good, but hopefully that'll mean United will be switched on, like you said, and you see the results there. I know that we haven't lost in the last 5 games, but that is 3 out of the last 5 games we've dropped points. So we know that we have to take this seriously.
If that was all green there, we all love a bit of green, but if that was all green there, be a little bit worried.
Speak for yourself.
Because, I hate when they've not lost against Southampton in 10 games, and I'll be like, oh my God.
Not lost at home.
This is
to
coming
Burnley
right
in
now.
38 years.
Wasn't it Sheffield United's first ever win
Top flight, yeah.
at Old Trafford? Like, it was just.
I think it was the first ever top flight victory over
Yeah,
United.
No. They beat us in the first game we played against them in the Premier League.
Did they?
It's
Maybe
the
Old
first one
Trafford then.
Yeah, the first one at Old Trafford.
Was that under Van Gaal? No.
No, in 92-93, when the
92-93.
very first Premier League season,
Yeah.
they beat us. I think
in the very
that was
first
our
season.
first game. Brian Dean.
I can't
Those
remember them.
bastards.
See, I always remember Sheffield Wednesday being the Premier League team. I can't remember Sheffield United.
No,
being.
Sheffield United beat us, and then obviously
Who used to play for them then?
Sheffield United. Brian Dean was the one that scored the goal. I think.
I remember
against
him.
us.
He played for
Paddock.
Borough as well, didn't
Yeah,
he?
I
Brian
feel like
Dean.
it was the first ever Premier League goal was against us, and it was him for them.
Sick.
Bit of knowledge for you. But you're right. It's the first time he won at Old Trafford.
Give you knowledge, proper good there.
Hey.
Look at United's last 5 results there. That's
And Sensence is proper good as well.
drifting towards unacceptable now, isn't it? That last 5 results. Especially
Yeah.
when you consider that only one of those is a victory in the league.
It's not unacceptable. There's one
I'm
result.
sorry, it's. I don't
There's
mean
one
it's
result in there
unacceptable,
that's unacceptable.
what the Sheffield United one.
Yeah, just,
But the form
I
is
can't-
unacceptable, not
I
the
just
results
find-
necessarily.
I don't know what
Yeah,
it is.
I can see where you're coming from there. Like the draw at Anfield, although it was frustrating because we had chances, it's not like what the
Like,
hell's
this is
going
what-
on. We
I don't
drew
know
at
if it's just
Anfield.
'cause me, I'm an optimist, but I don't know. Like the run's not that. Like
We've dropped points in 3 of our
we
last 4
lost
league games.
that Sheffield United game. We dropped points. That was bad. But apart from that, I think we've been quite consistent in the league in the last 15 games.
15 years.
15 years.
Southampton aren't in quite as good run of form, but they did beat Arsenal.
Yeah, they seem
Something
to
that we
like,
can't do somehow.
They beat the
They also
Scousers, didn't
lost
they,
against
just
Arsenal.
before this run, and then like they've not really kicked on from that, have they? They've struggled.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a bit of a mixed bag for them. I think they'll be happy.
Have we got to maybe talk a bit about how United are going to win this? Because one of the big problems is, I know we conceded 2 against Liverpool, but generally speaking, our defence has got a lot better in the last month, I would say.
Yeah.
The amount of we've had, I think, 3 clean sheets in that time. We've only conceded 1 against Villa and 1 against.
Statistically, but not on the eye test.
Maybe not on the eye test, but the number of clean sheets and the number of goals we're conceding per game has gone down since the turn of the
Statistically,
year.
definitely, and I think that's down to do with obviously Bailly coming back into the team, Maguire being a lot better than he has been. But I'm not comfortable with that defense.
No,
That the right back and
I'm
the
not saying
left back
I'm not
are
saying
always
yeah.
tucking in so much, and there's so much space outside, and I just find it mental. Like Wan-Bissaka did it again. He did a great block on Willian to recover, but why was he in the middle of the goal? Like I don't. Are they being instructed to, or
He
they're being
tucks in
told
really
to
tight on
tuck in
crosses,
because
doesn't he?
it's really weird. I understand that if you tuck in and you got wingers who are coming back and tucking in as well, I get it. But we do it when there's nobody in that space. We just leave it. It doesn't. This defense doesn't fill me with the confidence the record should, if you get what I mean.
But then the defense is getting better statistically, and statistically our attack is getting worse because essentially the only 2 people who have scored many goals for us this season, Rashford and Bruno, have both hardly scored recently. And Martial and Cavani and Greenwood and whoever else hasn't really been able to pick up the slack. The only player who sort of picked up the slack was Paul Pogba with his, was it 3 goals in about 6 games? That's my worry really going forward is how do we get back to scoring 2 goals a game like we were doing, whereas now we struggle to get 1. Because the Sheffield United game, we still could have won that game. The Arsenal game, we still should have won that game. The
Definitely.
Liverpool game, we should have won that. Like, big Pogba chance, Bruno chance against Liverpool. Against Sheffield United, we had plenty of chances. Against Arsenal the other day, Cavani had 2 fantastic chances. Rashford had a half chance that looked a bit more easy than it was. But we're just not scoring those chances. And that's my worry. How are we going to overcome that? Like, do just time, or do we need to drop someone, or change the formation, or what are we going to do about that? Because we can't have 4 or 5 of our front 6 not performing for months on end.
I mean, you can sort of take comfort in a way that we're getting the chances because Edinson Cavani If he keeps getting them chances, he's going to score. I personally still believe in Andy Martial as well. And Marcus Rashford, I think people are getting a bit overexcited with some of the criticism we've seen in those two. But I'd be more worried if we weren't creating anything. If you're going into them games and you're thinking, we haven't even had a
Because we have seen that in the past as well,
haven't we?
Under Ole, Jose and Van
under
Gaal
Van
in
Gaal.
particular.
I've seen it, we didn't score a goal down my end for 3 months under Van Gaal. We didn't even hardly have any shots. Do you know what I mean? And we are creating chances, and I think those players will come good. But going back to the original thing before about, any sort of title aspirations or even challenging for the title, you've got to start putting these chances away sooner rather than later. Yeah. Because, we have wasted a few chances to turn results that are okay, like a draw at the Emirates is okay, and a draw at Anfield is okay. But we get those take away those chances, and it's fantastic results.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
feel we've gone
That's
away
just the
from what we did good last season, though, which was I feel like now when we get into the final third, Bruno's looking a lot of the time for individual, like him to score, Rashford for him to score, Cavani for, we've lost that passing and moving and building in the final third. I think that we were so good at last year. There were times last season where Bruno, Greenwood, Rashford, Marshall, they're just passing, moving.
Yeah.
I haven't seen much of that this season. So we are then relying on a Rashford or Bruno set piece or a world-class piece of,
Like
individual
Pogba.
play or a goal in the final third. That's not me coming here and saying, Ali's got no tactics, because I think that's disrespectful. And I think we have seen over the last 12 months that we can play great passages of play. But maybe it's a thing with Cavani coming in, has changed maybe because he's a completely different striker to Martial, clearly. Martial being out of form, still playing. And then you've got Rashford and Bruno, who are very, in the final third, can be single-minded.
Yeah.
And it kind of affects how many chances you're creating, and it breaks down a lot. How many times have we seen, you should have passed there.
Yeah.
You should have passed there. And I'm not talking about one player in particular.
No,
I'm talking about many players. Should have passed there. Could have passed there. There was a few, even with Luke Shaw, and I agree, I know Steve gets a lot of stick, and I think that sometimes he overlooks a good performance just to stick to his guns. But I also see what he says in Luke Shaw. There's times where he'll be very good in a game, but there'll also be 5 passes that he missed that were on.
Yeah.
That I see, and I'm like, bro, play the...
At least try it.
At
least try to
and then
make
it's
the pass.
gone, do you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
that's not a bad thing, because he's not lost the ball. And, we've still got possession. But when you're watching the game and you see a chance, and then we have so many of them moments.
Yeah.
We were
talking, weren't we, about the thing with Rashford, and it was like, everyone was going on about the Cavani thing at Anfield, and it's like, it's that one chance you've got. It was that split second. If you don't do it, then it's gone. That moment is gone. And yes, you might keep possession and you might end up getting a shot off or whatever, but it's that sort of quick thinking, perhaps, that sometimes we need to act a little bit quicker than we are doing, because we're keeping possession and we're even creating a half chance or whatever, but there's an opportunity there to create a clear-cut chance that sometimes we're missing out on. So I get where you're coming from, but I don't want to just be blindly optimistic, but I still think of it and look at it and go, you know what, it's not that bad, because we're still creating these chances, and defensively we're not as bad, or we've got a couple of clean sheets where at the beginning of the season we were struggling for clean sheets and stuff like that. So I don't know, maybe I'm being a little bit naive, but I feel all right.
go for it a bit more though, because we are beginning now. Spurs drop points again, and they'll drop more points, and Chelsea are dropping. We'll begin. There'll be a little bit of a cushion that will present itself from 4th to, and I think
there's going to.
Then you kind of got to think, well, do we go for this, because it's very difficult to lose your top 4. You know what I mean?
Get rich or die trying. Is
just
that's the
fucking
motto
go
for
for
all
it.
I know?
I know what you mean.
Finishing 2nd, 3rd, or 4th don't make a difference.
There does
in the grand
seem to
scheme
be.
of things.
You were mentioning it before off camera about the Arsenal game. There seems to be a little bit of a lack of urgency at times. Like even in the Sheffield United game where we were behind, watching it, you wouldn't have thought United are losing this game. Like we're behind. We were playing like we're 3-0 up at times. Like, what are you doing? And okay, you can go, well, if the crowd was there, that'd help, but that excuse doesn't hold much water, does it, when you're playing the bottom place team? And against Arsenal, Mackie, you were saying it earlier, we're playing the ball around the back of the defence with 2 minutes left to play. Get at him. Do you know what I mean? Come on. Yeah. This is a vulnerable Arsenal team as well. So you're right. We do need to get at teams more. Just sometimes there needs to be a little bit more urgency, especially sort of later stages of the game where you're running out of time, and we still seem to be sort of settling almost, which sounds crazy when you talk about a defeat to Sheffield United, but it doesn't feel like we were losing those games, or we're against an Arsenal team that were there for the taking with 2 minutes to go when we're still just keeping hold of the ball. That's not good enough. I'm not having that one.
Used to done you predict 11.
Yes,
obviously.
we've got some nice predicted 11s.
Who wants to go first?
I'll let.
Thank you very much.
The lady go first.
It's a bit unfair, but I'll take it.
Age
My
before
predicted
beauty.
11. We've got De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, and then Matic and Pogba, Greenwood, Fernandes, Rashford, and Cavani. Giving Martial the game off. I think that's the obvious sort of change there. Although he didn't start the other night, and I don't think Ole really wanted him to play that game.
To leave him out, didn't you?
Yeah, and I think that is the plan, maybe, because he is in bad form, and
But
I know
I do
you're
think
not.
some people have been going over the top. Like I saw after what game was it? Sheffield United the other day. Like Rashford, Cavani, everyone stunk the place out here, and everyone was just on about him. And I get it. Rashford's got 10 goals, 15 assists this season, but there was times where I seen him do more than everybody else. And it's even like against Arsenal, there were bits where he was trying to link the play up.
Yeah.
And it just
No, I get.
going for
I
him,
get
but you need
I
to
get-
drop him.
I get.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Some of the
You can't play him.
criticism has been extreme, and without getting into abuse, which is all a different story. But the actual criticism is it gets a little bit doolally at times. Do you know what I mean? He is going through a bad time, but we get that. But it's
Yeah,
not
I
like
think
he's
the response to
the
that
way
is to
he's
drop him.
reacting. Some people
Yeah.
think that you just stuck a traffic cone on the pitch and he's that
No.
bad. It's not. Do you know what I mean? He's still
And it's the
playing his part.
accusation. Oh, it doesn't care and it doesn't this.
don't give me
You
that.
think, man, you come on, man. You think if he didn't care, Ollie would be picking him? Like,
He don't want to play, but I'm going to stick him in anyway because we've got him here and he's got his boots on. So sack it, give him a game. No,
it's because Ollie's been in a position where if you criticise him, you look like a dickhead. And I know some people are happy to do that, but there, Pogba's fixed up. So who else are they going to like? We need a target.
Are you claiming there could be some sort of agenda, Mr. Mckola?
Well, I think also
struggle to believe that.
We're not short of targets at the minute. Rashford's been, I would say, poor for.
But he's got 10.
for a
You
while,
can't
but
say
he's
nothing when you got 50 goals.
Well,
and 10
that's the thing
assists.
because he's got assists.
Rashford will just
But then, but the thing is though, you do shield yourself from some of the criticism with output, and that's not a secret or a surprise, is it? The fact that he has got goals and assists, that is what he's there to do. So
base argument as well, isn't it? If you want to like just go to the base argument, an easy thing is go, well, I mean, he's got no goals, or he's only scored 1 in 10, or whatever. It's an easy argument for someone who wants to make it proper simple.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go down that route and you go, well, actually, he's got a load of goals and assists, so that's not the one you can level at him. Then it's a bit more nuanced.
Yeah.
So
I think there's quite a few players in the squad at the minute who aren't doing what they should be. I think Bruno is one. I think Rashford one. Martial is one. The difference is of those three, Martial has done the least overall this season.
If Cavani has 2 more
exactly.
games like he did against Arsenal, they'll be after Cavani.
No, that's what I mean.
Like this is what's gonna. This is what people do.
Would we criticise him, even though he's new? Would you say?
I think one of the
that's
differences is
unacceptable?
with Cavani is he's played less games and he has got
Yeah.
some goals. And here's the thing, and it comes back to.
And I'm not
sometimes-
encouraging that.
No.
No, was I. But I'm saying,
Yeah.
I'm pointing out
Yeah.
how
No.
fickle people
Oh,
are.
mate,
From
100%.
last week saying, this is everything that we want people to be. And now in 2 weeks, it'll be, this fucking geezer.
It's only here for a
Fans are
paycheck.
idiots, bro.
Don't even
People
care.
are done for Players Player of the
Where's-
Year to fucking hate
Where's
him.
the passion?
You don't win Players Player of the Year if you're not pulling your weight.
No,
It's that
come on,
simple. Anyway, Jay, what's your team?
It's nice and easy.
Oh.
I've simply swapped
I just said that.
Edinson Cavani for Anthony Martial. On that front.
Oh, wait, no. I saw another change.
Oh, is there?
Lindelof.
Oh,
Bailey.
sorry, telling lies. Sorry,
I didn't even see
brought
that one.
I brought Bayern for Lindelof. Gone with the same midfield because I think I think that works anyway. Pogba can play.
It's our
deep.
best midfield.
Yeah. And also, I've gone with Anthony Martial up front. Now, I know people are going, Anthony Martial, and he has had issues, and he's not been scoring enough goals. He's certainly not been scoring enough goals from a player of his talents. But I don't know. I'm seeing signs that maybe it's time to put him back in. I also think that putting Rashford on the left, for starters, helps Marcus Rashford, because I'm sick of this moving him over to the right nonsense. I think Mason Greenwood on the left makes a lot more sense. On the right, sorry, it makes a lot more sense because he can cut in on his left foot, like we have seen. And I'm willing to give Martial another chance up front. I think that front three, I know it's a front four, but with those three in particular, works. And I think you stick
drop
with
him.
it.
So in
I'll
your
go
head
for it.
though, what I know you're saying you think Martial can do. Why are you not playing Cavani rather than saying why you are playing Martial? Why are you not playing
That's
Cavani?
a very good question. That 2 things. One, he's 33, and I know he's full of beans, but it is like 2 games in 4 days or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think he could probably do with a little breather, even though he didn't want one. And I think that sometimes a player just forces the way into the team, and it's like he's in the team now, no matter what. And I don't think Cavani's there yet. I don't expect him to be. I don't think he was brought in to start every game, but I don't think he's undroppable.
No.
Had he scored those chances at Arsenal, then I'd say, all right.
Or even one of those chances.
Then, don't drop him. That's crazy. But he didn't.
No.
So he's not undroppable. He probably could do the breather because I think he'll be in for the Everton game anyway. So I think it makes sense. And I get, you need to. But sometimes I feel as well, a little bit, it almost gets counterproductive if you drop in a player. Martial came on, he did all right against Arsenal. He wasn't set the world alight, but none of us did. And I just think get him back in his number 9. Get the players around him that should be playing around him in their position. Bruno just behind him, Greenwood on the right, and Rashford on the left. And worst case scenario, you bring on Edinson Cavani with half an hour to try and get you that goal. It's not, it's not the end of the world.
I feel so not upset, but just like I was so excited for Martial to be like every season United's number 9 consistent
mate,
goal.
I
Like,
was
after
with you on
last year,
that.
he was so good. I thought he's going to push on.
Yeah.
It's so disappointing for him, but like watching it, you
It's
feel
bad.
like
I feel like
we were so
we're sat
close
here
for him
now
to just do the
defending
take
him.
that jump. Yeah,
Defending my decision to put him in the team,
It's sad, isn't
which
it?
is
I would
crazy.
drop him. I would. I'm obviously someone that defends him, and I think there's a special player in there, like,
Yeah.
and I believe he'll show it again this season. But I think what hasn't helped him is playing through his bad form.
Right.
And if he's going to start, he's going to probably start on the left.
That's
And
what I
it's
don't want to see, man.
But you know what? You're saying that. Like, people keep saying, Ollie's forcing Rashford on the right. And Pogba also played on the left and Rashford on the right. Like, it's not even just when Martial
No,
plays, like,
you're right.
He does it a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
I wouldn't play Rashford on the
Rashford
right.
needs
though.
to go on the left.
And
He is-
I've seen like Rashford at one game, he was in the middle, right, left.
I don't mind that during a game.
But
That rotation
it didn't work though, and it's like on the left. You saw him against the Scousers. Marcus Rashford for me had one of his best games this season.
Yeah.
he was
Yeah,
immense.
his best game this season. It was,
yeah. And it was like, so what do we do next game? Move him. Why?
He's almost a victim of his own versatility. Isn't it? We've
and
seen
I
that a lot
don't
with
think
players.
we need. I don't think we need to do that.
I think I would. I mean, obviously he doesn't like playing there, but I think if you want to play Martial and Rashford and Cavani, why not try Martial on the right? See what happens, because we know that Rashford on the right isn't nearly as effective. He's not that great a crosser of the ball, even on his
And he
right
doesn't
foot.
look to cross as
No,
well as
but
most
he
of
is
the
good
time.
at cutting inside or going past the man
Yeah.
and pulling it back. Cutting inside and getting shots in. So I think he's much better on the left. Maybe try
We're
Martial
missing
on
a
the
right
or-
winger as well.
We just need a right
mate.
winger.
Like,
That's
and
the
that's
problem.
if when you've got two, okay, Rashford's a left wing. When you've got 2 strikers in your front 3,
Yeah.
it's no one's creating. It's 2 man looking for goals, not 2 guys creating for one, which is a bit crazy. A little bit on Sheffield United before we go to
Sheffield
score
United.
Or Southampton, either way.
Southampton even.
Still scarred by the Sheffield United game, aren't you?
Red and
Scars
white
run deep.
starts with an S.
Same thing,
innit?
innit? Eh?
From the same part of the world, ain't they?
Yeah, next door to each other.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You can walk from Sheffield to Southampton.
Yeah.
Take you half an hour.
You can, yeah.
Half an hour every day for about a year. It's like 250 miles away, isn't it?
Longer than that. Further than
Fucking
that.
well far. Anyway, yeah, go on.
The Southampton.
Danny
goals?
Ings, innit? Is it a Danny Ings show here or what?
Danny Mings.
Yeah. Looking at his stats
Tyrone
there.
Ings and Danny Mings.
I mean, there's nothing worse as well when it's an ex-Scouser. Do you know what I mean? If they get a goal against you, it's horrible, isn't it? And he's obviously their main
He did
threat.
score a goal against them. Winner.
Yeah, that helped us, to be
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
He's a good
Did
player,
well
though,
there.
isn't he? Good player, Danny
He
Ings.
surprised me how good he's been for them.
He
'Cause
doesn't
I
surprise
banging
me.
him in. Really? I never saw that. I saw him at Burnley. He was all right.
Liverpool signed him for a reason
Yeah,
a couple of
but-
years ago. He had mad injuries.
Yeah, but in that period, Liverpool signing him was not.
That's like the Ricky Lambert school
Jurgen
of-
Klopp signed him, bro.
So? Didn't he also sign like Markovic and fucking
But like,
loads of other players?
we're not talking like the only reason he's not at Liverpool now is because of injuries.
Right. So
Otherwise,
same
he'd
with
still be-
Daniel Sturridge. You don't mean he'd
No,
get
but-
United's team, does it?
It's almost a suggestion that he wasn't good enough for them. He
No,
was
I'm not
good
saying he
enough for
wasn't
them.
good enough for him, but I'm saying the
I'm
fact that
surprised at how
Liverpool
well he's done
signed
at
him
Southampton
doesn't mean
because
he's good.
they signed him off the back of 10 goals in the Premier League for Burnley, which was a good return, especially for a Burnley team that don't create a lot. But I didn't think he's going to be a prolific striker when he went to Southampton.
No.
I didn't think he's going to bang in 20 odd goals like he did last season, and he's probably on course for roughly the same figure this season.
I think
Maybe a
that's
bit
a
less.
fair point.
Do you know what I mean? That's
Well-
what I'm not saying he's not a good player. I just think because last season he was a fucking goal machine, wasn't he?
Yeah,
and it's
ridiculous.
like I'd not see that coming. And this season,
It's the kind of goals
You know
he
what I mean?
scores as well. He's very. People just think, oh, big man, lump it up. He's just techie, bro.
he's small.
You see his
he's
goal.
tiny. Yeah.
You see his
quite
goal
solid,
against
actually, yeah.
Liverpool. Just dinged it over. His touches, everything is.
Mate, I cheered
Not
that.
bad
Like,
for
I
a
cheered
cross.
that like it was a goal for us.
I know, yeah, and then fucking.
But yeah, let's
drop
not
points
go
in
there.
Sheffield United.
Fucking typical football.
But I think between our centre backs, we should be able to hold him off. I reckon.
You're going to pull him
He's
off.
good, but he's not. You know,
Don't finish that sentence. Don't finish that sentence. Don't.
He's not McGoldrick levels, is he?
he's no McGoldrick. He's no McGoldrick.
Score prediction?
We've got to win. I can't predict anything else because
Yeah, but score prediction?
Predicting anything else would make me too upset. I'm going to go 2-0 United. Another clean sheet, couple of goals. Who for? Cavani, Bruno.
Thanks, Prisoner Joe.
Nicely done. I think we're gonna batter him. I think this lot from Yorkshire are in for a right fucking hiding. Hey, back over the Pennines you go with a good spanking. Hey,
Back over the penalties and down all the way around in the seat.
I'll go with 4-0. Yeah,
Huge.
everyone who's been getting hatred to score.
There's a team came to Old Trafford last week with 5 points.
I'm not letting logic dictate my opinions, Macca. You know better than that. Come on.
All right then. 5-0.
5-0.
That's the spirit.
Jay made me do it.
Yes,
No, he didn't.
that's the sort of peer
said
pressure
if
we can get involved with. Look at you negative 2-0, eh?
How is that negative?
You're not a proper United.
2-0.
fan.
Some of us
You
believe
give
in the
Fan
team,
TV
eh?
a bad name.
Do you know
Joe.
what I mean? Eh?
Yeah.
2-0.
People like you.
Do you know what I mean? Part of the problem, mate. Come on.
People like you with your opinions. Just
Well, yeah,
just to
with your
grab
logic,
attention.
eh? There's no place for that.
You belong down south with that lot.
Eh? Yeah, Sheffield.
For anyone who's not from England, it's good. It's a weird mix of fake and sarcastic and actual mistakes of we know Sheffield and Southampton aren't near each other, by the way, and that is the joke. But
Seen it on a map, something
Yeah,
like that,
is
mate.
that-
So
on a spin that globe round.
a globe, it's
right
like that,
next to each
mate.
other.
So don't tell me they're not next to each
Sure
other.
that you'd have an 8. How far away are we?
That.
Far.
Good lad.
What does that even mean? Do you remember A to Z? Opening them up with the wings. Like what?
Mate.
Why would you do that anyway? It's so dangerous. You're not even allowed to use your phone these days, but you can use an A to Z.
Ridiculous.
Fuck.
That's why
me.
the country's gone to the dogs, obviously.
It is.
Because of that. A to Z.
That and.
Yeah, anyway. Let's
Who's
not get
wrapping
him
this
started
up?
on that.
You are.
Oh. So thank you for watching, guys.
Yeah. Get your score prediction in the comments as well.
We'll be on the watch along. I'm back.
Back. By dope demand.
Back. Thank you for joining us, Joe.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for joining us, Jay.
Enjoyed it. It's been a laugh. Cheered me up.
Thank you for joining me. And thank you for joining us. Bye.